Hello friends, welcome to Programming Concepts. My name is Amit and this is part 31 of ASP.NET Core MVC tutorial. In this video, we will talk about how to pass data from controller to view with the help of ViewBag. This is continuation to part 30, View Data in .NET Core MVC. So please watch it before proceeding to this one. I shared the link in the description. Let's get back to Visual Studio. And this is the project which we are working on. You can see within our index method, we are using ViewData. Let's see how we can use ViewBag instead of ViewData. Let's type ViewBag. Then go to its definition by pressing F12. You can see it is of type dynamic. So this is first difference as compared to ViewData. ViewData works on key value pair, whereas ViewBag works on dynamic property. Alright. Let's define property in our index action method and use the same name as of ViewData key, which is message. Similarly for employee ViewData as well. Replace it with ViewBag.employee. Next, we need to replace the view data with ViewBag in view as well. So first with message and second within loop. Alright, let's run the program once again. You can see no exception, working as expected. So ViewBag is just a wrapper around ViewData, which simply means we can achieve same output with both ViewBag and ViewData with minor changes. As ViewBag is wrapper around ViewData, so it will be slow as compared to ViewData, but the performance difference is not even noticeable in real time. Let's see what are the other differences. If you look at our view, we use the conversion when we try to use complex object. We have checked in our last video that this conversion is mandatory in case of ViewData. Let's remove the type we had specified for ViewBag. You can see it is not giving error while applying the loop, but just below it starts showing error. It's simply because we used where keyword. Let's specify the employee instead of where. As soon as we define employee, you will notice error is gone. Let's run the program and see if everything is working as expected. And you can see no error. Now let's try the same thing with ViewData as well. Let's use ViewData in our view. So ViewData and the key is employee. And you can see it straight away start giving error. And if you look at the error is for each statement cannot operate on variables of type object because object does not contain a public instance or extension definition for getEnumerator. Remember, ViewData is of type dictionary and string, object type. So the message seems quite valid, right? Next, a very common question which you may receive is there any way we can pass an anonymous object from controller to view? Right, so let's create an anonymous object in our controller. So where anonymous object is equal to new, and then we have curly braces. And let's say employee ID is equal to 1. Next, let's say employee name is equal to Amit. So, can we pass this object from controller to view? So the answer is there is no direct way to achieve this. Can you guess the answer? Let's see that. Till now, we had seen three ways to transfer data from controller to view, which is model, ViewData, and ViewBag. If we talk about the model itself represents a class. And we also use terms like strongly typed views, where we get IntelliSense at compile time. But an anonymous object could be anything. There is no predefined properties. It will be decided at runtime. So it won't be possible with the help of model. Next, as we already discussed, ViewData required typecasting upfront, and anonymous don't have any type. That's why they are anonymous, right? So ViewData doesn't looks like a suitable candidate for transferring anonymous object from controller to view. Last one is ViewBag, and it contains dynamic properties. So ideally, it should work without any issue, right? Let's see that in action. So within controller, let's define another ViewBag. So ViewBag.anonymousObject is equal to anonymous object. And let's go to our view. Let's create a div at the top so that we can clearly see our output. So div, let's define few bootstrap classes like text-center and then fw-bold. Next, let's display any message like output with ViewBag, colon, and then break the line. Next, we need to display ID, which we just defined in our anonymous object. So ID colon at for user syntax, at ViewBag because it is a server-side object, at ViewBag.anonymousObject.id. Next, break the line, and next we need to display name. So name colon at ViewBag.anonymousObject.name. Then double break the line. And then provide horizontal ruler for separation. And let's run the program. And we have an error. And the error is runtime binder exception. So the object does not contain a definition for ID. But why? It should be resolved at runtime, right? ViewBag is all about dynamic property. Then why not? That we will discuss the actual reason why we are facing this issue and how to pass such objects from controller to view in our next video. Let's just quickly recap differences between ViewData and ViewBag. So the first difference is ViewData is key value dictionary collection and ViewBag is a type object. ViewData is of type dictionary string comma object, whereas ViewBag is a dynamic property of controller base class. ViewBag is just a wrapper around ViewData, which simply means we can achieve same output with both ViewBag and ViewData with minor changes. Obviously useful when sending small information. As ViewBag is wrapper around ViewData, so it will be also slow as compared to ViewData, but performance differences is not even noticeable. And finally, we discussed that type conversion is required with ViewData, but not required with ViewBag. Alright then, that's it in this video. If you have any queries related to the content of this video, do ask me in comments. Till then, thanks for watching.